Hi, Bob the Canadian here. Sometimes, believe it or not, I'm in a bad mood. I'm not in a bad mood right now. I'm in a pretty good mood. But the other day, I was in a bad mood, and I thought to myself, I should make a video for all of you and go over 10 different ways in English to say I'm in a bad mood. Hey, Bob the Canadian here. If this is your first time here, don't forget to click the subscribe button below to be notified when I put new English video lessons up on YouTube. And give me a thumbs up if this video helps you learn a little bit more English. Well, this video is about how to say I'm in a bad mood 10 different ways. And the first one is really simple. You just say, I'm in a bad mood. I think I've said it 2 or 3 times already. So number one, you can simply say, I'm in a bad mood. A second way to say that you're in a bad mood is, I'm cranky. I often say I'm cranky, especially when it's been a long time since I've had my last meal and I'm really, really hungry. I'll usually just say, I'm just really cranky because I need something to eat. So a second way to say you're in a bad mood is to say, I'm cranky. A third way to say that you're in a bad mood is to say, I'm grouchy. So you may have watched the show Sesame Street. It's an English kids show. And on that show, they have a character called Oscar the Grouch. And he's always grouchy. I usually get grouchy when I have too much work to do and not enough time to do it. And that usually makes me grouchy. And I'll say to people, I'm grouchy today. So a fourth way to say that you're in a bad mood is to say, I'm grumpy. So you say to someone, I'm just grumpy today. And a lot of times I'll be grumpy if I have a day where nothing seems to go right all day long. So from the minute I get up until I go to bed, nothing goes right. And that definitely makes me very, very grumpy. So for example, maybe I sleep in by accident. Maybe I go to make eggs for breakfast and there aren't any. Maybe on the way to work, I notice that my van has not enough gas in it to make it home again. All of those things would put me in a bad mood, and I might describe it to people by saying, I'm grumpy today. So a fifth way to say that you're in a bad mood is to say, I'm crabby. So when you say I'm crabby, I usually tell people I'm crabby if I don't get a good night's sleep or if I don't get enough sleep. So let's say it's nice to get 8 hours sleep in a night and I only get 5 or 6. Or maybe I toss and turn all night. So I would definitely the next day tell people that, I'm crabby today because I didn't get enough sleep last night. So a sixth way to say you're in a bad mood is to say, I'm irritable. So the thing that makes me really irritable is when somebody wants me to get something done, but I don't have enough time to get it done. That really makes me irritable. So when you're irritable, everything bothers you. Another way to say you're in a bad mood is to just say, I'm not in a good mood. So you're saying the opposite of saying that you're in a good mood. And this is quite common in English. Oftentimes people will say, I'm just not in a good mood today. So they use the negative form of the phrase, I'm in a good mood, to say that they're not in a good mood, which means the same as I'm in a bad mood. And one of the things that makes me not in a good mood is a day where I just have one thing after another to do. Do you ever have one of those days where you have so many things to do that day and you just do one thing after another and it just, at the end of the day, you just say, I am not in a good mood today. So an eighth way to say you're in a bad mood is to say, I'm agitated. So I would say I get agitated, or I would describe myself as being agitated when I'm trying to get work done. Maybe I'm trying to edit a video for my YouTube channel and the phone keeps ringing, or my phone keeps beeping or buzzing because someone is texting me and interrupting the work I'm doing. So that definitely is something where I would say I'm agitated because I just feel like I'm trying to get something done and I keep getting interrupted. So a ninth way to say that you're in a bad mood is to say, I'm aggravated. So the best example I can give of this is if you go on a long trip with children and they're really noisy in the back seat, I would definitely say that that behavior is aggravating, and I would feel aggravated. I would be in a bad mood. I would be aggravated because of the noise that my kids were making while I was trying to drive. So I would definitely describe that situation as I'm aggravated. And a 10th way to describe being in a bad mood is to just say, I'm annoyed, or I'm annoyed with everything. So a good example of this would be, sometimes we work with people we like. Sometimes we might work with someone who isn't so enjoyable to work with. And so you might end up saying, I'm just annoyed. I'm just annoyed with everything today because my coworker is hard to work with. And that would be another description of being in a bad mood. I'm annoyed with everything today. I'm annoyed. Well, there's a few things that you might do when you're in a bad mood, or ways we would describe people who are in a bad mood. And I have a list of them here, and I'm going to read them off to you. So you might snap at people. So when you snap at people, it means you respond really quickly and in a tone that sounds kind of mean. You might be short with people. In English, when we say, I was really short with people today, it means that you answer in really quick sentences. You speak really briskly, like, okay, no thanks. That would be being short with someone, not taking the time to have a good conversation with them, but speaking in really short, quick sentences. Another thing that you would have is you might just be rude to people. So instead of being a warm, happy, enjoyable person to be around, you might just be rude. You might answer in ways that aren't appropriate. You might just be not a very nice person that day. You might yell or swear at people. I don't do this, but you might yell, which is yelling is to speak in a really high volume, or you might swear at people. So you might actually use bad words or call people names. Don't ever do that, by the way, but that's something you might do if you're in a bad mood. You might treat people harshly. So when we treat people harshly, it's similar to being short with them. It's similar to not taking the time to talk to them nicely. But you could say that you're just being harsh with people all day long. That's something that a lot of times people do when they're in a bad mood. And then lastly, maybe you just ignore people. Sometimes when I'm in a bad mood, I just want to go somewhere by myself so that I don't have to deal with people. So you might just, if you're in a bad mood, you might just ignore people. So anyways, that was 10 ways to say that you're in a bad mood. And then there was just a few descriptions of some of the behaviors or some of the things you might do or say if you're in a bad mood. Hopefully that helped you. Hopefully this English lesson helped you. Bob the Canadian here. Learn English with Bob the Canadian. Don't forget to subscribe below. Share this video with a friend. Give me a thumbs up and leave a comment below, especially if you have any questions about this video. I hope it helped you. I hope that as you go week to week, your English is improving. And it's just really fun for me to make these English lessons for you. So Bob the Canadian here. Learn English with Bob the Canadian. I hope you have a great day.